The dating scene is quite abysmal in this day and age. Meeting a man worth his salt is near impossible. Don't lose hope, ladies, but it is very difficult. If you are celebrating your 20th wedding anniversary soon, many of the points in this video probably won't apply to you. Nonetheless, it should not stop you from putting your best foot forward, irrespective of your relationship status. However, if you're embarking on a new romance or relationship, please do listen to these points carefully, because doing any of these things could cost you something very special. Remember, it's slim pickings even for the most eligible women out there, and keep in mind that it is so difficult to undo first impressions. My wonderful Elegance ladies, welcome back to my channel. My name is Vivian, the founder of Woman of Elegance, a platform I've created to help women globally become the most elegant, classy and refined ladies that they can be. So without further ado, let's discuss 8 things elegant women never do on a first date. The first thing elegant women never do on a first date is ask for money. There are some women who see men as a mere meal ticket, free food, nice gifts and a glitzy night out. Unfortunately, there are women out there who go out with men with the sole intention of getting as much as they can from him. They see dates as an opportunity to settle their financial challenges, and so they stylishly turn into beggars whenever they're out on a date. Needless to say, that serious men avoid such low value behavior. Even if they do put up with the begging, they normally do so with the intention of recovering some of their expenses back via getting sexual favors from the lady. Avoid that path. You're better than that. Find a job. If you think it's okay to exchange your body for an expensive date, then ladies, we need to have a separate conversation. An elegant woman has high self-esteem and self-worth. Even if she's facing a financial challenge and she's in dire need of help, she maintains her integrity and respects herself. A first date should not be seen as an opportunity to get cash from a man. As a man gets to know you more, he'll be able to discover where you need help and will assist you if he chooses to. You blow your chances of a meaningful, respectable and long-lasting relationship when you assume men are money vending machines to be milked out. Even if the man is clearly rich and it's plain to see, nobody wants to feel as if they're being used. So if you ask him for $1,000 at the end of a first date because he happens to have an expensive sports car, you're setting yourself up for failure even before you started, because he will start seeing you in a different light. If you do begin to demand money so early in the relationship, don't be surprised if he begins to ask for sex regardless of whatever boundaries you've put in place. This is because he will have his guard up and he fears being used and taken advantage of, and he will want the greatest return on his investment. It's really sad that this is the state of dating in 2022, but here we are. Do things in an appropriate, classy way with sturdy boundaries in place and you'll be fine. The second thing that elegant women do not do on a first date is being rude to the staff and waiting staff. Of course, this isn't something that just applies to first dates. Elegant women are always kind to people around her. If you are rude to wait staff on a first date with a decent man, don't be surprised if he ghosts you afterwards. These wait staff are employed to make your visit as seamless and pleasant as possible. Just because they serve you food and drinks and wait on you, it does not make them beneath you, and it doesn't mean that you are superior to them. Treat everyone with respect, no matter what you think their status are or what kind of work they do for a living. Elegant women make those around them feel valued and appreciated. Don't speak rudely to the waiters, even if they accidentally spill drink or food on you, or you don't like the food, or you think that the service is subpar. Try to keep the drama to a minimum. Speak to the manager, leave an honest review, but do not be rude or scathing or sarcastic. Whistling yoo or snapping your fingers at the waiter to get their attention is very inappropriate. An elegant woman is polite and would signal a waiter and patiently wait for them to attend to her. Men see all these things. Speaking of food and drink, the third thing elegant women never do on a first date is get drunk. It's very despicable behavior to drink so much to the extent of getting drunk on a first date. An elegance lady would never do that. No matter how familiar you are with your dates or how long you've been dating, letting yourself loose and drinking too much is an absolute faux pas. This type of intoxication is especially dangerous and reckless if it's the first time you've gone out with this person. A classy woman controls her drink and limits her intake no matter how good the wine is or how much is readily available. When you drink to the extent of getting drunk, you lose control of your senses and you can do and say things that are far from being ladylike. And you could really risk being taken advantage of when you are drunk. A sensible man would think twice about being around a lady who drinks too much because he knows he can be embarrassed and disgraced by a drunk lady on a date. Point number 4, elegant women do not download details of their past relationships on a first date. When a man is out on a date with you, he wants to enjoy your company and get to know you better. That's really the essence of dating, to get to know if a man is suitable marriage material. It's okay to divulge some things about yourself depending on the stage you are in the relationship. The information you give out on a date should be commensurate with the stage and state of your relationship. You do not give out excess information and too many details, especially if the relationship is at its teething stage. Even if your relationship has advanced considerably, you shouldn't spoil a good date with stories about your ex-boyfriends and how and why you broke up with them. That could really put any man off and spoil the outing. Imagine sitting in a restaurant dressed nicely and in high spirits and you start talking about how much of a jerk your boyfriend was, how he never got anything right and he was too clumsy for your liking, and then you move on to the guy before him that was an idiot and he never washed his underpants and he's still living with his mother, and the stories go on. Listening to such stories will make even the most delicious of dishes taste like sawdust in your date's mouth. There's a time and place for everything. Most elegant women know this and they don't chatter and move on to unnecessary details about previous relationships. Truly speaking, the guy presently in your life doesn't need to know every detail of your past relationship. Worse still, if you make it sound like your past boyfriends were worthless, that could make any well-intending man feel on edge and make him dash out of the relationship. Be tactful and be wise. Point number 5, elegant women do not dress shabbily on a first date. Whether you're meeting up with someone for the very first time or you're in an established relationship, you should dress elegantly and look as presentable as possible. Shabby dressing includes wearing clothes that don't fit properly or dressing provocatively or salaciously or being underdressed or overdressed. Always look appropriate for the occasion. Your clothes should look attractive enough to make your guy admire you and modest enough to leave something to the imagination. Prepare ahead of time and select an outfit that looks good on you. Elegant women do not expose sensitive parts of their bodies in public. You should aim at looking classy and chic without undermining your elegance. Your hair should be clean and tidy at all times. If it's your first date, stay true to yourself and your style and don't dress up exclusively the way you think he would want you to look. Having said this, I have previously read some comments on my YouTube channel stating that I should wear my natural hair more often. I've also unfortunately read some unpleasant comments stating that I'm ashamed of my heritage because I wear wigs of a European texture. This is not because I'm ashamed of my hair at all, but for those of you who may be familiar with coarse afro hair, this can be incredibly difficult to style, and this is why I absolutely love natural girl wigs. Do you notice something different? It's my unit and I'm completely in love with it. A lot of you have asked me whether it's possible to be elegant if you wear your hair in an afro or sister locks or dreadlocks and so forth, and the answer is a resounding yes. This gorgeous unit is a beautiful kinky texture, which is a texture of afro hair which has been silk pressed, and as many of you know, afro hair due to its thickness can be incredibly difficult to manage. This unit is perfect if you're in a rush and you simply want a different and simple hairstyle. Natural Girl Wigs have a fantastic selection of wigs and hair pieces that are versatile, efficient and gorgeous and can be styled in a multitude of ways. This one that I'm wearing here is the Vogue Faux Blowout Wig, which has this incredibly blown out texture and a frontal that gives you a natural hairline. It's 24 inches in length and has an excellent price tag of $120. However, if you use my discount code below, you will get 10% off your very own wig. So there's absolutely no excuse for a bad hair day on your first date. Be sure to check out Natural Girl Wigs, and they have a beautiful selection on their websites. You will not be disappointed. Point number 6, elegant women do not bring friends along on a first date. Okay, it's one thing to have agreed a chaperone prior to your date, but then you bring your friends on a first date without consulting the man, and to add insults to injury, expect him to foot the bill for you all? That is completely unbecoming of an elegance lady. There is a shameless thing that some women do when a guy asks them out on a date. They bring 2 or 3 of their friends along with them. Remember the purpose of a date. It is for you to get to know each other, to see if you are compatible. Most of the time, a friend is not there to serve as a chaperone. They just came to enjoy the free food. Their unwanted presence makes it difficult for him to speak freely with you. Another tactic that some unscrupulous women use when they don't like the man is to bring her friends along to the date with the hope that he will spend as much money as possible so he gets put off her and he doesn't ask her for a second date. This is unfair and a complete waste of both of your time. Find a more elegant mean of turning down a guy which doesn't involve you giving a negative impression of yourself. Be confident that your no is no and is strong enough to pass on the message that you are not interested in going out with him again. An elegant woman understands what a date is. She knows the rules around not inviting an extra guest. She respects herself and will never consider bringing a friend with her to a date. Point number 7. Elegant women do not binge on food. Self-control is a quality that any woman who considers herself elegant should have in abundance. It saves you a lot of embarrassment and it protects your integrity. An elegant woman is modest in her appearance and her behavior. When it comes to dining, she applies the rule of modesty too. The fact that you're a foodie or you have a large appetite and probably will not be the one to foot the bill is no excuse for binge eating. If you're famished or you haven't eaten for a long while, try to grab a bite at home before you leave. Rushing your food or loading your stomach doesn't reflect elegance. Eat a moderate quantity of food and moderately at a slow pace. Remember, the purpose of the date is not to satisfy your hunger, but to get to know the person. Please do not embarrass yourself by overindulging in food because it's free. And again, show that you have respect for the person in front of you by refraining from ordering the most expensive thing on the menu just because he's paying. If he suggests caviar or Petrus or some other vintage wine, then by all means, because again, even if he's wealthy, he may just think you're an unapologetically opportunistic gold digger. We don't want that, do we, ladies? Final thing elegant women do not do on a first date is pretend to be someone who they aren't. Some women feed and live on pretense. They pretend about virtually everything and put on airs about being who they're not. They heavily filter their photos to the point of catfishing and lie about everything, hoping it will impress the man that they're trying to date. A pretender is a liar who is living out a lie. An elegant woman is too busy being herself and enjoying her elegance lifestyle and has no room for pretense in her life. Pretending to be who you are not shows that you're not confident and proud of who you are. Pretense is an expression of a poor self-worth and low self-esteem. When a lady puts on airs about being too important or even wealthy to impress a man, or she lies about her educational background or her skills, she's really setting herself up for disgrace. The bubble will eventually burst and the guy will discover that you've been unreal all along. Be yourself. Believe me, being your authentic self is the best thing you can do, because when things blossom, you know he will love you for you, flaws and all. And even after the first date, if he's not keen, you haven't wasted much time, because you can move on to somebody who sees your worth. Ladies, this list is non-exhaustive. There are so many other things you should try and avoid on a first date, knowing that first impressions count. But I hope these 8 points really gives you a blueprint on your journey to becoming an elegant woman. Thank you very much for watching.